تفضل. تعال من شكلي أنا.
I just would like to inform you that we had a very constructive meeting with the Secretary General today in regard to the resolutions that we are now trying to present to the Security Council. And also we talk about the visit of our ministers during the Security Council session on Wednesday. And we exchange views on how to alleviate the suffering of the people of Gaza and how to extend the ceasefire. We are very happy that the ceasefire being extended in more days, and we are working to have an extended ceasefire, reaching lasting ceasefire in the Gaza Strip. The humanitarian situation is very dire, and there is a great need to increase the number of trucks entering into Gaza, and the Egyptian government's working very hard with the UN and with other countries to increase the number of trucks going into Gaza. And now I'd like to invite our dear brother Ambassador Riyadh to say a few words.
Thank you very much. As you see, that this is the Ministerial Committee representative that emerged from the combined summit of the Arab and the OIC in Riyadh, in which a committee of 8 was established to go to many capitals to do everything possible to stop the fighting, in essence to have a ceasefire, and to increase the assistance to hundreds of trucks on a daily basis to address the needs of the Palestinian people in the Gaza Strip, and also to stop the forced transfer. And in that spirit, our brothers from Egypt, and with our representative in the Security Council, United Arab Emirates, are talking to members of the Security Council in order to secure the best and efficient way to allow the crossings to handle this massive number of trucks to address the humanitarian needs, and to empower the UN system inside the Gaza Strip to ensure the distribution of all the humanitarian need in all corners of the Gaza Strip. This is what we did. We had a very constructive conversation, frank one, with the Secretary General, and we will continue that discussion. Of course, there will be a meeting of our ministers when they arrive. They will start arriving tomorrow with the Secretary General to continue with this discussion. Perhaps this discussion with the Secretary General and others could be also pursued further when many of us will converge in Dubai to attend the COP28. Let me also add that earlier this afternoon we had a closed meeting of the Security Council in which the representative of Egypt and Qatar gave a briefing to members of the Security Council about the agreement and the extension of the agreement, in which everyone in the Security Council was welcoming that. For us, we want to see not only extension of days, but to create an environment where we will eventually have a permanent ceasefire. I think the dynamic that has been created by prisoners and captive individuals joining their loved ones is so positive that it is the alternative to the machine of killing and destroying the Palestinian civilians in the Gaza Strip. Saving life is much better than taking it away, and we sincerely hope with this effort in the Security Council under the wise leadership of China to be able to create or to help to create an atmosphere that we will keep extending and extending until it becomes the reality, so that we can deal with the issues that we have to deal with, mainly the end of occupation and the independence of the state of Palestine, meaning the two-state solution to become a reality. We cannot do that under the gun or while the war is taking place. We can do it once the guns go silent, and then we can put our efforts in the direction where we should in order to have a political horizon and the implementation of the global consensus on the two-state solution. So it was a busy day for us. We will have a very busy day tomorrow. In the General Assembly, we will be debating the question of Palestine. In the Security Council and the margin of the Security Council, we will be continuing the effort to have a ceasefire. Our ministers, once they arrive, they will be having very active and continuous meetings through the 29th of November, which will be the International Day of Solidarity with the Palestinian people, and we invite all of you to be with us and also to participate with us at 1 o'clock in the opening of the exhibit that relates to the question of Palestine. We thank you so much. I think Osama wants to say something.
Yes, a word on as much as we're happy with the great news of the extension of the provisional truce and the gradual release of the detainees and the hostages, we should not lose sight of the dire humanitarian needs and the humanitarian situation in Gaza. This should remain the focus for us as the Islamic and Arab group. We have drafted a very solid draft trying to address the humanitarian situation in Gaza and how to elevate the assistance flowing into Gaza, how to have a better enhanced mechanism to deliver using more than a crossing, Karam Bushalim, Rafah crossing, in every route to northern Gaza. And we have been under the very able penholdership of Emirates, the Arab member in the council. We had shared the draft with council members, working very hard, and with the hope is for the UN to shoulder a more robust role in helping us having more of uniform flow, up to scale humanitarian assistance to our brothers and sisters in Gaza. They deserve. The Secretary-General told us about 1 million people residing and sleeping and seeking refuge in the UN premises, 1.6 million out there in the open desert or whatever. So we need assistance. We need it as expeditiously, as fluently, as quickly as possible. Thank you.
Yes.
I just want to emphasize that this is an issue of humanitarian and humanity. And it's not just for countries in the region, countries outside the region, from Southeast Asia, from Indonesia, and Malaysia, will be here as well in the next tomorrow and the day after. It's to show that when it comes to the issue of humanitarian, when it comes to the issue of humanity, it is not just about religion, it's not about the neighboring countries, but it's an issue for all of us.
We should say that the Committee of 8 is composed of 5 Arab countries, 5 ministers, and 3 from the Muslim countries, Indonesia, Nigeria, and Turkey. So that this way we have the full force of the Arab Ummah and the Islamic Ummah together. And that committee represents the 2 sides or the 2 wings of the Arab and the Muslim, combined.
Ambassador, you talked about the International Day of Solidarity. Do you feel over the past few weeks that solidarity for the Palestinian people has been growing around the world in different cities and countries?
Before I respond to you, let my sister, say a few things.
Very important question, of course. But let me add one thing. Today is an important day. Today the Council had the opportunity to hear firsthand from the key collaborators, Qatar, of course, Egypt, and the United States. We, 3 of us, have played a critical role in sustaining and maintaining the first 4 days of the humanitarian pause that has been implemented since Friday, and today we have an extension of the humanitarian pause. This is critical, this is very important. In the meeting with the Secretary-General, we emphasized, of course, the importance for further humanitarian assistance to enter into Gaza, especially in the northern part. We want to make sure this is sustained. This is very important and critical, especially in anticipation of Secretary-General participation in the Ministerial Security Council session that will be convened by China on Wednesday, which our minister will be part of. So this is a very critical moment that we need to really highlight.
So to be clear,
No,
is
but
the
he
draft
asked,
that you're-
he asked me a question. May I?
Can you answer that question for us?
Yeah, I will. I'll
Thank you.
be glad to answer it. We are very grateful of this massive support in the streets of so many cities in the United States, in Europe, and in all corners of the globe, like in Indonesia, for example. 2 million people one time demonstrated expressing the solidarity of the Indonesian people with the Palestinian people. This unprecedented amount of support in the streets is an illustration of how outraged millions of people, when they see Palestinian children being killed at this scale of almost 6,000 of them have been killed, and the destruction in the Gaza Strip, and people are outraged of what is really happening, and their main theme is ceasefire and ceasefire now. Even some of them occupied the Congress in the United States with a placard saying ceasefire. 3,000 of them occupied Grand Central Station in New York. They slept on the floor asking for ceasefire now. What is needed that the Security Council to listen to these massive messages and to adopt the position of ceasefire and the position of the Secretary General that we admire and salute him for saying it, humanitarian ceasefire now. And we totally agree with him on that. And we hope that the Security Council will come to that realization very soon, because the pauses need to be transferred into a permanent ceasefire so that we can save lives and rebuild Gaza and move into the political horizon that we should move into in order to allow the two-state solution to become a reality. Shukran jazilan. Thank you. And we will keep you, in touch. Be with us on International Day of Solidarity with the Palestinians.
Thank you.
So you have been briefed.
Well done.
Thank you.